Matt, thank you very much for taking part in Amelatina's optional interview. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 42 years old, and I'm from Western New York State. I live out by the Great Lakes. And
Excellent. And what brought you to Amelatina, the website?
well, I'd been on a Ukrainian tour with Anastasia, the parent company, and I didn't even know about Amelatina until I went on that tour. So I decided I would do this because I was unsuccessful in Ukraine.
Okay, so you thought you'd try the Latin fashion.
Well, I have nothing against Latin.
Excellent. Okay, so what made you decide specifically to go on this tour, Medellin, Colombia?
I'd heard it was the most beautiful city of all of them in Colombia, and you know, I always look at these tours as a vacation with the possibility of more. So,
Well, that's a very, very healthy attitude. Good way to come into this thing. Great. Are you looking for a serious relationship or just having some fun?
oh, definitely serious. I want a wife.
You want one. Great. Okay, and your impressions of the tour so far?
Tour's great. Much better organized than the last tour, and I'm just having a great time. Of course, I think that the experience of the first tour and knowing kind of what to expect helped me set up for the second one, you know, myself.
Yeah, you got a basic grounding for the first one. So
Had a leg up, yeah.
you're a bit more confident than the other guys. The other guys are trying to figure out how this thing works.
Yeah.
All right. So first visit to Colombia.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Why Colombia? Why Medellin?
Well, I've always been intrigued by Colombia and South America, and the people that we see in the States from Colombia, and I always thought the women here were like just what I wanted. So the combination of the scenery and the climate and all that together, it's a perfect combination.
Yeah, excellent. All right. So just looking at the tour component now, you went to the socials.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe the atmosphere?
At the socials?
Yeah.
I thought it was, I mean, as you know, I don't like surprises, and I kind of got hit with a little surprise about the socials, and I wasn't real happy, but then I have to admit, you know, I was definitely wrong on how the change with the socials went. It went very well, and in fact, now that I've had the contrast between an open social and the more, formal social, I prefer this method, yes.
You get more time
Yeah.
in your interaction.
Even though I was definitely resistant to the idea at first, I think this is better.
Maybe it was a little bit of nerves.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
a little bit of nerves, but then when you got in the room and you got into it, it was like, oh.
I think it made it easier. I mean, I'm outgoing enough I can navigate either way, but I think for somebody who's more shy especially, it would definitely give them a much better experience.
Yes. Okay. So you mentioned the ladies. How
Hmm?
was the numbers right? How were they character-wise? Were they, listening to what you said? Were they responsive?
There was a nice range in ages. There was enough of them to choose from. If you couldn't choose from that many, you're just never going to find one, I don't think. But I think there's such a thing as too many to pick from. And there's so many good ones, if you were to have too many, that you would overlook ones that are very good women. So I think it was the right number.
Can get a little bit mystifying.
Right. Yeah.
Too many options.
Too overwhelming.
Okay. So have you met someone special?
I have.
Right. And can you tell us how it happened? How did you meet this girl?
Met her at the social. It was the first night. And I haven't gone out with anyone else. All I've done is concentrate on her because I just got that right vibe from her, and she wouldn't even talk to me at the social. I mean, she was shy.
Right.
But
Yeah, I mean, this takes all characters. You know,
Yeah.
Strong character guys come into it, shy girls come into it.
yes.
It's a people business. Anything can happen. So she wouldn't talk to you, and then, so how did you
Well, it wasn't that she wouldn't talk to me, but she didn't want to talk in general. She was just shy, and so I kind of just made her come out of her shell, and then once I got her to open up to me a little bit, it just went from there, and it's been nonstop, enjoyable week, and it isn't over because I extended my stay here, so I get to spend 4 extra days with her. So,
Well, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
Extending your stay, and you're
Yes.
showing her that you're serious.
yes,
And obviously you get to see a lot more scenery and learn a lot more about Colombia.
I did.
Fit in with the culture. Cool. So just a quick question again about the components. This hotel, its location,
Mhm.
everything's worked to your satisfaction?
Everything's been beautiful. I couldn't say enough about the hotel and the hotel staff. I think it was just right. It's not too expensive. It's not too cheap. It's just right. You know, they have everything, and I read some reviews, which I'll tell you, anybody that reads those reviews online about this hotel, I can debunk any one of them because anything you need, if it's not right there, they'll get it for you.
Excellent. Okay. Another tour component then, the transportation that Amalachinas use. This is the intercept and collection at the airport, the transportation to the socials. Everything runs smoothly, on time.
Yes.
Quite happy?
Yes.
No frustration. Good. And the staff, these are the faces that you've met now of the Amalatina brand and division. The guys on the ground here, they've looked after you.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Okay. Do you have any comments how we might improve the tour?
I don't think there's really much you can improve, because no matter how much you try, you're not going to get it perfect for everybody. I mean, it's always good to take in suggestions, but I think it's running pretty smooth right now.
Excellent.
The only thing I would do is maybe encourage guys to, when they're coming down here, even though the tour runs for a certain amount of time, definitely consider extended stay.
It's very, very important. A lot of guys have the flexibility to do it in the tour when they realize just how good this is.
I don't think that most of them realize the exchange rate, how well it is. You can stay here very cheaply, and this, unlike like the Ukrainian tour, exchanging money or going to the banks and getting money and everything was a nightmare. It's very easy here. It's very modern and up to date, and it works well. So you don't have to worry about much.
All right. So, would you like to come back again on tour?
I will be. So I don't know if I'll be on tour, but I'll be back.
You'll be back again.
Yes, because I already met my wife, so I don't need socials. Okay.
Well, maybe we'll bring you back as an ambassador then.
Okay. Well, you can do that.
Let the new guys know how it's done.
All right. Yeah.
So, final question then. This is the guys that are looking at this. You know where these videos go. It's the testimonial section of the platform. They're thinking about going on a tour. They're obviously in communication with the girls using the website. To give them a little bit of a push over the fence, what would you say to them?
I'd say don't put too much into the website. I mean, yeah, it's there to use, and it is a good starting point to get a feel of this and get information and maybe. But nothing will compare to taking one of these tours. You need to man up and say, either I'm willing to do this despite whatever criticisms anybody else gives me or resistance from family, friends, whatever. If you're gonna do it, just do it. Don't mess around. Because
To make it real.
right, because 10 minutes with one of these girls is worth 1,000 minutes on that chat, and probably more, because you can spend 1,000 minutes on chat with a girl and never ever meet her. And yeah, but the thing about these girls who come out and make the effort on the social, you should definitely give every one of them their respect and talk to them and get to know them a little bit, because we want to keep them coming out to these tours, and you'll get more out of that, out of meeting these girls here. They've demonstrated that they're serious enough, and
They
that
get very well dressed up.
Yes.
Best clothes on.
it's easy to get online and say anything you want, but when you're in person, you can feel it. You'll know.
Okay, well,
So-
it's always a pleasure, Matt, having a positive client like yourself, just bouncing through this and achieving success. I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for this interview.
Eh.
You've got now.
Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.